It's Wednesday the 29th of July, and today is the last Members' Day of the current Parliament. It will start off with oral questions. The Leader of the Opposition to the Prime Minister about people being allowed to take their money out of KiwiSaver to start a business. Jenny Marcroft to the Minister for Economic Development about the Provincial Growth Fund. Paul Goldsmith about projections on job losses. Deborah Russell to the Minister of Finance about the New Zealand economy and the international comparisons. Jerry Brownie to the Minister of Housing about people who are in managed isolation and the fees. Louise Upson to the Minister for Social Development, whether she stands for all her statements and actions. Maya Lubeck to the Minister for Workplace Relations and Safety about protections for migrant workers. Chris Bishop to the Minister of Finance about shovel-ready projects. Shane Retty to the Associate Minister of Health about flu vaccines. Willow Jean Prime to the Minister of Food Safety about the danger of drinking alcohol during pregnancy. Michael Woodhouse, the Minister for Regional Economic Development, about the total value of projects under the Provincial Growth Fund. And David Bennett to the Minister for Agriculture about the dairy sector. There will then be a general debate, which is 12 5-minute speeches, runs from roughly 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Then the Holidays Bereavement Leave for Miscarriage Amendment Bill, the second reading, it's in the name of Ginny Anderson. At 5:10, that debate will be interrupted for valedictory statements from Sarah Dowie, Alistair Scott and the Honourable Paula Bennett, which will run through until a dinner break. After dinner, we'll go on to the first reading of the Local Government Customer Focus Amendment Bill, which is in Jackie Dean's name. That's already started. The Electoral Integrity Repeal Amendment Bill in the name of David Carter. And the Crimes Definition of Female Genital Mutilation Amendment Bill, which is a really unusual bill. It's in the names of Jenny Marcroft, Priyanka Radhakrishnan, Golriz Garaman and Joe Hayes. And we're going to do the second reading committee stages and third reading of that bill if there is sufficient time tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow at 2 o'clock.